Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholders meeting of this Tuesday, February 24th, 2015. We're going to begin with a conference agenda that I'm very excited about, and at this point I'm going to request of our clerk of the board, Mr. Emhoff, if he can please do a roll call.
Freeholders, Bartlett. Here. Best. Here. Chonio. Duffy. Here. Lepore. Here. Deputy Director James. Here. Director Laura.
Here. At this time, I'm going to call upon our business administrator, Mr. Anthony DeNova, if he can begin the conference agenda.
Thank you very much, Director. We have on our agenda this evening a couple of items. The first is celebration and honoring Black History Month. And before I turn the program to our Master of Ceremonies this evening, I did want to take the opportunity to announce a few dignitaries that took the time out of their busy schedules to be here. First, I saw we have Assemblyman Benji Wimberly from the 35th District. Patterson Board of Education Commissioner Manny Martinez. Borough of Prospect Park Councilman Rob Artis. We have our Sheriff Rich Burdnick. We have his two undersheriffs, Undersheriff Joe Dennis and Undersheriff Mario Racinas. Thank you, gentlemen. And Lenny Lovely is here too. He's getting shy. He's hiding in the back row now. When did that happen? We also have with us Ms. Minnie Hiller Cousins, Support Liaison and Intervention Coordinator for Passaic High School, also retired 156th U.S. Army. So thank you all very much for being here. If I forgot anybody, I apologize, and we will certainly recognize you if you get a note up here as well. So at this time, I'd like to turn over the program to our freeholder, T.J. Best.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. You guys look awesome. Hopefully it's not too cold out there. And thanks for being with us tonight. Before I get started, I want to let you know that we have some more than light refreshments prepared, actually a good old home-cooked meal after the program, so we're going to get you out of here as soon as we can so we can enjoy some of that good Southern cooking. Is that all right? Y'all sure that's all right? Because I'm hungry, right? Yeah? Okay. Just checking. Today we celebrate Black History Month by remembering and commemorating the lives and achievements of people of African descent who have and continue to have a positive and significant impact on our society. Black History Month gives us a chance to reflect on the African American collective struggle of 250 years of legalized slavery, segregation, Jim Crow, labor, housing, education, and economic discrimination. Yet despite the many atrocities that were committed against our people, and our forefathers and foremothers rebelled, revolted, fought, marched, organized, and legislated the civil rights and liberties that we appreciate and enjoy today. We can sometimes take for granted that only one generation removed, in a lot of states, it was illegal for blacks to vote, to attend the same school as white children, to drink from the same water fountain, to play in the same parks. Only 2 generations removed, it was illegal for my black father and my white mother to marry and have children. The fact that I can only date my family tree back to the birth of my great-great-grandfather on my father's side, and you know, a lot of people know I lost my father a couple months ago, and I signed up for Ancestry.com. If you haven't done that, it's a great thing. Please do it. But I paid for this membership, and on my mother's side of the family, I was able to go back to the 1700s in Ireland. Even got it down to the town in the county in which he was born. But yet, when it came to my father's side of the family, I could only go back to 1856 in South Carolina, where my great-great-grandfather was born a slave. And when we look at those things and think that in the county's history of 177 years, I'm only the second African-American male to become freeholder. And the fact that we still have first today, Hector Laura is the first Latino male to be freeholder in the county of Passaic. We're privileged and fortunate that we have these positions today, but we understand that it would never have come had it not been for the sacrifice for those giants on the shoulders who we stand on. And it's extremely important that we honor, we commemorate, and we celebrate those forefathers and mothers who fought to allow us to be here today and appreciate these freedoms and civil rights and liberties that we have. And also important to remember and to encourage our young people to continue that legacy, to move forward to the greatness that they know we can achieve. With that being said, I want to thank you all for coming out. We're going to start by having an outstanding performance by young people from the Rosa L. Park School of Fine and Performing Arts, who's going to lead us in the Star Spangled Banner, and then lift every voice and sing the Negro National Anthem. I ask everyone to please rise, and I turn it over to the very capable hands of their director, Mr. John Chapman. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, you can be seated. I know normally when you hear Lift Every Voice and Sing, you only hear the first two verses. But considering that it's Black History Month, I think it was extremely important that we had a chance to hear them sing it, but also to review and reflect upon the words that are actually in the song itself. The words are written in the program. Please, if you have a chance, take a look at it. It's very powerful, and it truly tells the story of both the African American struggle as well as fight to freedom here in this country. Our first honoree will be presented by freeholder John Bartlett.
Nice job, Dave. Wow, let's give these kids another round of applause. That was amazing. I grew up singing in a choir like that, and keeping those harmonies is not easy, and that was exceptional, guys. Thank you. It is my great privilege and pleasure to be part of today's program and to honor Harold E. Foster. Mr. Foster, could you join me? Now, who's here with you today?
Well, I have my wife of 40 years, Doris. All my grandchildren.
And I met 2-3 of your great-grandchildren, am I right about
and
that?
I have 3 great-grandchildren there.
Wonderful.
Director Laura, when we spoke the other day,
Yes.
Shakur Muckle, stand up. That's the one who won the Midget League 3-point shooting contest.
Okay. I made a commitment to challenge you because I'm going to have to see it. Okay.
Mrs. Foster, why don't you come on up and be with us? I invite everybody, but you got at least one amateur photographer there in the family who I think wants to stay in her seat. Sorry, who else?
Also, I have my brother, Ron Foster, here also. And my good friend, Vernon Allen.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I wanted to ask you, because I saw you brought a large family, but also because family is so much a part of the story that we all write. You've done so many exceptional things. I'm actually going to have to read them from here, because you have a marvelous history of service. And we're proud as the Freeholder Board to recognize you this Black History Month. And I'll just read parts of the proclamation. Whereas Harold E. Foster, who resides in Patterson, holds a certificate in general business from Rutgers and is a graduate of Passaic County Community College, where he made the National Dean's List in 1979 and earned 2 Associate of Science degrees, is a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, where you served in the Far East, Australia, and California, and were in the Drum and Bugle Corps stationed in Hawaii. Rough life.
Right.
And he reached the rank of Corporal E3. Whereas Harold Foster holds many licenses and certifications, is a majority partner, president, and director of Financial Supermarkets, Inc., a professional school for pre-license and continuing education courses for the insurance community and full-service insurance and investment brokerage, and is an award-winning sales executive underwriting life, health, property, and casualty policies for major insurance firms, as well as an investment advisor, selling securities, mutual funds, medical savings account, and estate planning. And whereas you have served on the board of directors of the Patterson YMCA, have been involved with many organizations, including the Muscular Dystrophy Association and March of Dimes, and you were instrumental in setting up foundations for your church under the National Heritage Foundation, and served on the Health Advisory Committee for both Congressman Herb Klein and Congressman Ben A. Gilman. And whereas you have given unselfishly of your time and energy to the community, and have earned the respect of one and all who come in contact with you, and your wonderful legacy of children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, now therefore be it proclaimed by us here today that we publicly recognize and applaud you for the significant contributions you've made to your professional community, your family, and the Patterson and Passaic County communities, and the exemplary service that you have dedicated over the course of your life, and we send our sincere best wishes for continued success and service.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the freeholders and the County of Passaic for bestowing this honor upon me. Also, I would like to thank God, who's the head of my life. Also, I'd like to thank all the other officials, the other people that are here that are in official capacity. I want to say one thing, one commercial. We have a nonprofit organization called Music Art of New Jersey, and what our main goal is to try to see how we can get music back into the school system. So we solicit your help by sending donations and whatever so that we can make this work. We can't do it by ourselves. But I also want to reflect because, you know, we have some problems in this city of Patterson, a lot of violence and people doing different things that they shouldn't be doing. And I think what has happened is that we've lost that love that we... And I'm saying that because I had the opportunity to do some concerts up and down the whole eastern seaboard. And I got the opportunity to meet a person by the name of Isaac Hayes who did the score for Shaft. It was an extreme pleasure meeting him. I also had the opportunity to meet the Tony Sylvester from the Main Ingredient, the group that sang the song Everybody Plays the Fool. And I also had the extreme pleasure of meeting a person by the name of Alex Brown, and he also was with the Persuaders, a thin line between love and hate. And also Al Goodman from Ray Goodman and Brown, which happened to be one of my best friends, has passed away since all of these have passed on. That's why I'm mentioning it. But he also, they did Love on a Two-Way Street, Ray Goodman and Brown. And also, we had the extreme pleasure of meeting McFadden and Whitehead. Ain't no stopping us now. We traveled up and down the seaboard with those guys, people like that rubbing shoulders. It was a great experience for me. There's so many others that I can't mention because there's quite a few that have passed since we did this tour. This was in 2001 to 2005. And I just want to leave you with one message. And I have to read it because I want to make sure I got all the words right. This is a quote by Richard Poos. It was on a headstone in Ireland. It said, "Death leaves a heartache no one can heal, but love leaves a memory no one can steal." I thought that was a good message to bring to everybody here. But that's what we need. And my brother actually did a song, covered a song called "If the World Runs Out of Love." Seems like that's happening now, so we got to turn that around. I thank you very much for your attention, and I appreciate all the people that came.
We're going to do one at the end.
One at the end. Okay. Stick around.
Okay.
Take a picture of the whole family.
Okay.
That's fine. Thank you. Congratulations, sir.
We're going to do it from here, and our next presentation will be done by freeholder Pat Lepore. I had to find him for this one. Who's going to give this one out?
Good evening, everyone. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to make the next presentation. And if Marquisha can join me. I see you hiding in the back over there. If you can believe it, when we first met, I was taller than her. You know, as an elected official, you go through a lot of highs and lows during your time that the people give you the privilege of serving. And you come away with some good and not so good memories. Meeting Marquisha was definitely one of the highlights of my term as freeholder. And besides, she's somewhat responsible, had a hand for me being here. I want you to take a good look at this young lady, and I want you to remember this evening, because I believe in my heart and soul that you're looking at a future leader, not only of Passaic County or the state of New Jersey, but beyond. I'm going to read this. Whereas the month of February has been designated as Black History Month, and the recognition of outstanding achievements and contributions made by many exceptional African Americans over the years, the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic deems it fitting and appropriate at this time to honor and recognize Marquisha Guthrie. Marquisha was born and raised in Patterson. She is a graduate of Panther Academy, where she was a member of the Interact Club. And as such, she participated in various community service projects, and she has made it a tradition of serving holiday meals on Thanksgiving and Christmas to those who are less fortunate. Marquisha was a people-to-people international student ambassador, where she was given the opportunity to visit the European countries of Italy, France, and Greece. She served as the assistant advisor to the Patterson Youth Council, ambassador of the Great Falls Youth Corps, and she is currently volunteering in the extended learning program at the Community Charter School of Patterson. Marquisha has earned a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice from Felician College and is currently employed by the Passaic County Sheriff's Department. She also serves as Vice Chair of the Political Affairs for the College Caucus of Young Democrats of America, and she is a member of the Passaic County Young Democrats. Marquisha aspires to attend John Jay College of Criminal Justice to earn a master's degree in public policy and to establish a foundation geared towards helping students from Patterson graduate from high school and apply, pay for, and graduate from college. Marquisha has given unselfishly of her time and energy to the community, which has earned her respect of one and all who come in contact with her. Marquisha has been involved in many causes and supported major initiatives throughout the county of Passaic, and she has brought honor and prestige not only to herself, but to Passaic County as well. And the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic would like to express its gratitude and appreciation to her for her distinguished service to the community. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic that it hereby publicly recognizes and applauds Marquisha Guthrie for the significant contributions she has made and the exemplary service she has unselfishly devoted to the community. And be it further be proclaimed that this board extends its sincere best wishes to Marquisha for continued success in all of her future endeavors.
Thank you, Freeholder Lepore and the Board of Chosen Freeholders. I'll be brief. Well, I'll try at least. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and honor to God, because without Him, I would not be here. I want to thank my mom, because she's always around. Anything I want to do, she's always my biggest supporter. And I actually want to take this time out to just thank a few people who I've never really gotten the chance to say thank you to, and they hear it in many different ways, but personally, first and foremost, to my boss, who, when I got hired, I was so excited to work for him. Sheriff Bernick, thank you for giving me an opportunity. To my mentors from when I was 14 that really got me started in the community service field, to Bob and Eddie, and to Manny, who came on when I was about 17, thank you. And I want to, Black History Month, in our country, is celebrated as a month. But to me, it's a lifetime celebration as an African American. And I really want to take this time out to thank 4 very special African Americans who have really made an impact on my life. First and foremost, Under Sheriff Lovely. Under Sheriff Washington, who's running late. Chief McCrary, who had to leave. Assemblyman Wimberly, I see you. Who is someone that I really look up to. As a leader, as a Pattersonian, as an athlete, I really look up to Assemblyman Wimberly. And last but not least, someone who I really just want to express my thanks to, who's currently not sitting there, is Freeholder T.J. Best, who I'm not going to cry when I say this, but he is someone that I really look up to. He taught me lessons from constructive criticism to, really understanding who has your best interests. And, despite what people may think, I really look up to him, and he sets the bar high, not to reach his level, but to go past his level. And so I really want to give him a thank you. And I just want to leave you with a quote from Harriet Tubman. It says, "Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars and change the world." Thank you.
We'll now have another performance, another selection by Rosa Parks School of Fine and Performing Arts.
Watch out.
I really think I have to take a minute, a few seconds to explain this next piece before it's a really hard, very demanding arrangement. And just so you know what's going on, we do 3 songs interweaving with each other. Oh Freedom, then Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, and then Battle in the Republic. It's really wonderful arrangement. The kids really work hard on it. So you guys are right.
For Rosa Parks. Those kids are true professionals. If the music would have went out on me, I probably would have grabbed my head and said, "Oh no, and I think they almost sounded better without the music, didn't they? I mean, the voices alone. For our next honorees, we actually have an organization that we would like to honor, and we're going to have our freeholder director, Hector Laura, to make that presentation.
Thank you very much for your best. And again, to the choir from Rosa Parks School, what a fantastic job. If I could just, I guess if you indulge me for a minute, I don't want us to lose that moment there when I want to share that what that symbolized, the fact that you began that song and it was introduced as such a difficult song to sing, right? And in the midst of problems, you kept going. You kept going and finished it out. And I think that that's so perfect for what we're trying to acknowledge today. When we talk about a people in the community who have had hardships and struggles and always kept going and continue forward. And that flawless effort, as it was said by Freeholder Best, that you sounded better. Sometimes trials and hardship inspire the best of us to come out, and I just want to thank you again for that performance. I think it just, I was moved personally by it. I'm very excited about this particular organization that we're going to call up for so many reasons. One, I share with you that I was born and raised in the city of Passaic, so today I feel like my family is here. My family is here. I have an opportunity to acknowledge and highlight my family, individuals that I have grown up seeing, individuals who, as I walked to school each day, I saw their faces, and many of them have marked my life, and I can point to some of them and specifically say that they played a large role in helping me become the man that I am today, and that I sit there in that role of director because of so much of the work that you put in to open up doors and make opportunities available for individuals like myself. So thank you so very much. We're going to acknowledge an organization doing it in the park organization. And when you hear the title of this organization, I imagine that the question arises, doing what in the park? What exactly is done in the park? And I'm going to share with you that when you're from Passaic, there are certain places that you identify, no one has to explain them to you. I'll throw some out there when someone says the 100 stairs, you don't need directions, we all know where that's at. And when you talk about an event in the park, everyone knows what the park is. It's where everyone comes together, and there's a special event that occurs in one park in Passaic every year, and I'm going to tell you what gets done there. A community comes together. History is taught, present is encouraged, and there is hope instilled in the youth for the future. You know, I love celebrating African American history, but I have shared before, not only celebrating African American history, but celebrating African American present and African American future. Because the history of a people is so important, it cannot be erased, but it is so vitally important that we always highlight history so we can encourage young people so that they can keep their eyes set on the future and move forward. And this particular organization, which comes together to highlight this day, and I'll read the proclamation, works to reconnect members of the city of Passaic, past, present, and future, those who have moved away, come back and travel for this one event. Young people from around the community are encouraged to come up and highlight their talents. They come and showcase what they do. Giveaways are part of this event. Young people get prizes and gifts. Individuals from the community come together and they cook and they highlight their businesses, and it's just a remarkable event. Not just because it's a one-day thing, but what happens afterwards, the connections that are made. When young people see the generations of past stand up, encourage them, speak directly to them, grab the mic and say, keep going forward. When individuals are acknowledged for going to college, for doing what is right, the impact that that has, you can't measure it. And it's just so remarkable. And I want to highlight each individual, but before I read the proclamation, because the proclamation is given to the committee, I want to read each of the names into record of those people who work so hard, because this event, though we appreciate and we enjoy it one day, it doesn't happen overnight. It is months that individuals work hard and come together to make these events happen, beginning with Mr. John Willis, the senior CEO and treasurer, Mr. Henry Rose, the senior president, Michael Willis, vice president, Sharice Hiller Austin, secretary, Bonnie Thomas, assistant secretary, Thomas Mann Burke, Jeanette Willis Dennis, Michael Goins, Sherry Greer, Lakeisha Kearney Hill, Raheem Hill, Wayne Lester, Richard McWilliams, Greg Nelson, Shalif Sanders, Carla Shepard, Kasim Washington, Dennis Webster, Sharina Willis, and Burnett Willis. And I would like to read this proclamation. I'm sorry? Mark Joust. Mark Joust. If I may read this. Whereas the month of February has been designated as Black History Month, and in recognition of the outstanding achievements and contributions made by many exceptional African Americans over the years, the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic deems it fitting and appropriate at this time to honor and recognize the Doing It in the Park nonprofit organization. And whereas the Doing It in the Park nonprofit organization, whose purpose is to reunite the Passaic community, both near and far, past and present, and to provide a fulfilled day of games, food, and live entertainment for everyone in the Passaic community. And whereas the Doing It in the Park event was started in the 1970s by the late Bobby Thomas, who served as a Passaic police. served as a Passaic police officer until his death in 1979, he took a special interest in the city's youth. He mentored them, provided gifts, organized musical events, and provided recreational activities to entertain them. And whereas John F. Willis Sr. had a desire to establish a social event for Passaic residents and to provide recreation for its youth, which would resurrect the late Bobby Thomas' original intent, and he formed a committee of 19 people who provided constructive ideas, raised funds, and solicited donations so that his vision, inspired by Bobby Thomas's intent and prior accomplishments, would come to fruition. And in 2012, the Doing It in the Park established its first annual event. And whereas the members of the Doing It in the Park nonprofit organization have given unselfishly of their time and energy to the community, which has earned this organization the respect of one and all who come into contact with them, and whereas the Doing It in the Park nonprofit organization has been involved in many causes and supported major initiatives throughout the city of Passaic since its inception, and the members have brought honor and prestige, not only to themselves, but to Passaic County as well. And the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic would like to express its gratitude and appreciation to this organization for its distinguished service to the community. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic that it hereby publicly recognizes and applauds the Doing It in the Park non-for-profit organization for the significant contributions it has made and the exemplary services its members have unselfishly devoted to the community, and be it further proclaimed that this board extends its sincere best wishes to the Doing It in the Park nonprofit organization for continued success in its endeavors. Today, ladies and gentlemen, the County of Passaic is privileged and honored to recognize the Doing It in the Park Committee for all that you do, not just in the city of Passaic, but for the County of Passaic and for the state of New Jersey. God bless you, and please come up here. Mr. Willis specifically told me not to call him up to say anything. He doesn't like to say many words, so he obviously knows that means I'm going to call him up here to say a few words and bring up the president. Please, sir.
First, I'd like to give honor to God, who's the head of my life. I thank God for allowing me to have this vision that the late Brother Bobby Thomas had put forth years ago. Like Assemblyman Hector Lorber said, I'm a man with few words, and I don't like to speak, but I just want to give one shout out to my lovely wife, Alexis, for being my backbone. So with that being said, I'm a man with few words. I bring on the President and the Vice President to elaborate more about what this organization is about. Hank Rose and Michael Willis.
First of all, giving honor to God from whom all blessings flows, I bring you greetings from the Doing It in the Park Committee. The President, Henry Hank Rhodes, Sr. Just to give you a little outline on what Brother John did not want to speak about, the things that we do. I hate to copycat off of what Mr. Laurel said, so everything that was said in the proclamation is definitely true. Being that this is a night of quotes that the other honorees had spoke, the best quote that I can come up that best describes Doing It in the Park is, train the child in the way they should go, and when they get old, they will not depart from it. Bobby Thomas instilled that in all of us that you still see here standing today. As we was little kids in our neighborhood, we found it fitting to always get there. The thing about Bobby Thomas was, it wasn't just for that one day, it was for the entire summer. It was like he provided jobs for the less fortunate and the ones that didn't have as much. And on those days, we was doing it in the park. And when we didn't do it at number 11 School Park, we took it down to number 8 School Park and called it Doing It in the Park Part 2. So he worked his whole community, uptown and downtown, in those days that it wasn't no confusion, as the other honoree, Mr. Foster, said earlier. We done lost the love. So what we try to do here, Doing It in the Park, is try to get back some of the love and give back to our community. And the other part of it too, most of it, as we celebrate Black History Month, is about being proud of who you are. A lot of the times that our children is so ashamed of themselves, and sometimes they're ashamed of even some of us. But we have to put that's up to us, the parents, the people, the committee, to go back into your community and get them, for they can do the old James Brown saying, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. With that, I turn it over to Mike Wilson.
Giving honor to God and my lovely wife that came along with me, and the whole committee and people that are assembled here today. I don't talk too much neither, like my brother, but I would just like to say that this is a beautiful occasion, and we do accept this on behalf of the Black History Month. But as you know, we are more than just this month. We assembled this thing as a community thing, where we came together and trying to help out the community, bringing people together. One of the things that when my brother brought it about, creating the committee, I do want to mention that the original president was Carson Washington right here, and he resigned. We was talking about assembling together to try to break down really like the crime rate and what was going on in the community, why the kids was doing the things that they was doing, because they didn't have no activities and they was just going wild and stuff. So we said, well, maybe we could start bringing back the old stuff, the way that we used to do it, and this will help the kids, because when you lose hope, you start going to the streets and doing things. So we thought that it would be right that we as people that went through certain times in our youth age, and growing, we know what to do. We knew that by bringing this together, that it will bring the community and the crime rate will fall down. And check this out. On the day of doing it in the park, it is 0 fights. Zero. We have over 4,000 people there on that day. No security. We don't have no problems. And I'm not bragging on it, and please, God, don't let it be none. We got buried there. So, but the thing is that, we want to create an atmosphere where people could come and enjoy each other's company and just have a great day. But most of all, the kids. The kids are so important to us. Just to see a kid smile, that brings so much joy to my heart. To give a child a scholarship, we provided over 7, is that right? 7 kids, or 6, with scholarships of $500. Well, we go out and we solicit. We go out and we ask for this. And we ask for your support here today. Okay? As well as I'm going to openly ask for that choir that sang today. If we can have you on the Doing It in Park Day, which is July 18th. I don't know who you guys can speak with, but just keep that in mind. But since everybody got a little word of wisdom, I'm just going to throw this in there. Keep aiming towards the moon. Hold up. And if you should fall, go ahead, finish. Talk about it. You will land among the stars. I just want to say one thing. To the performing arts students, if y'all want you to hear me, my daughter, Kashima Washington, went to your school as well. And that's my heart. But I want to say to you and make you want to cry, because I've been all over listening and through different arenas, and I've heard the National Black Anthem several times. And I must say today was the best time I've ever heard it in my life. I really want to let you know that. Like, I've been through a lot of what they call conscious surroundings, meetings and groups, and I'm telling you, that's the best that I've ever heard, our anthem. Like, I commend you, and I love every last one of you. But let me say this, there's a disconnect between the youth and the parents, or let's not just the parents, the older group, the older folk.
And there's a covenant that has to be made between us elderly or older folk and the youth. Because there was a covenant that was put before us by God himself. In these words, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, forgive your sins, and heal the land. This is a healing process, and as a former president of Doodle Park, I just want to say I love every last one of you, and we love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. Obviously, thank you. I know it said they won't brag, but I'm going to brag on them. That's why over 4,000 people come together with no incidents. That continues to show that when we offer kids an alternative and positive opportunities, they will continue in the right way. Thank you, sir.
And this is for Patterson as well. They welcome.
Go ahead. So we just want to make sure to invite everyone from Patterson and all over Passaic County to please come to our next Doing It in the Park and support. Thank you very much.
All right, we have the food's downstairs and it's ready, so we're gonna move this along. We have two more honorees. Our next honoree will be presented by Freeloader Terry Duffy.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure and honor to be here in front of you, and that's a tough act to follow, all of these proclamations and awards, but I know I'm between you and the food, so the pressure's on. I understand that, because look at me, I'm not afraid of a knife and fork, as you can see. So that being said, can I call up Jana, and I think, Shepard? She's here. What we got? Yeah, whatever you want. Whatever you got. Yes. Hi. See this one here? Jenna's not here, so we're not going to do this. Pleasure. All right, so I'll read this, regardless, and you tell her I read it. Okay. All right. Whereas the month of February has been designated as Black History Month, and in recognition of the outstanding achievements and contributions made by many exceptional African Americans over the years, the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic deems it fitting and appropriate at this time to honor and recognize Jana Shepard. We're really going to honor the parents, because Jana would be nothing without the parents. That's what I like to tell my kids. Right? That's right. You change their diapers. And now they start to look at us like they're going to change ours, and that worries me. So whereas Jana Shepard, who was born and raised by her parents, Lester and Laverne Shepard, in Passaic, is the youngest of 7 children. Whoa. Her mother is employed by New Jersey Transit, so she's always on time, I'm sure. And her father is an insurance producer currently employed by Ford Mills. And whereas Jana Shepard graduated from high school with 3.5 grade point average, that's something else. Thank you. I'm not even going to go near my grade point average. Awarded a scholarship and is presently attending Western Kentucky University, where she is presently there. And whereas Jana Shepard also participated in extracurricular activities in high school, which included softball, volleyball, and environmental club. And whereas Jana was employed by the Passaic Housing Authority and actively participated in volunteer work involving feeding the homeless in her community. And whereas Jana Shepard enjoys reading, writing poetry, and believes that she can do and be whatever she wants as she sets her heart and mind to it. God bless. Absolutely. So whereas Jana Shepard has been involved in many causes and supported major initiatives throughout the county of Passaic, and she has brought honor and prestige to not only herself, but to Passaic County as well. And the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic would like to express its gratitude and appreciation for its distinguished services to her community.
This is my favorite part, and I know some people have heard this. Reminds me of the Wizard of Oz. Now therefore be proclaimed by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Passaic that it hereby publicly recognizes and applauds Jana Shepherd and her parents for the significant contributions she has made, exemplary service she has unselfishly devoted to the community. And be it further proclaimed that this board extends its sincere best wishes to Jana Shepherd for her continued success in all her endeavors. May God bless her and her family.
Thank you all. First and foremost, I want to give honor to God. And like it was said before I got here, without him, none of this would be possible. I'd like to thank the Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholders doing it in the park committee. They're all family. I basically grew up with everybody out here from Passaic. I was at the first doing it in the park. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute. But I just want to tell you that my daughter does appreciate this. And Jana is the youngest. She's, what, 18 now? I always told her she can do whatever she wanted to do. And I heard the gentleman talking about bringing the music back in Patterson. I know in Passaic, when she used to go to the Learning Center down in Passaic, and she had a violin. Everybody used to think it was so square. But I like to tell you, my daughter's a nerd. I'm so grateful. She's a nerd. You should have been at her going away party. She's a nerd. I mean, but Jana always, you know, a C would upset her. Still to this day. She's a writer, musician. She wanted to be a veterinarian. She's studying. She's an artist. She's a good child. She took everything we told her throughout her life and she ran with it. And, you know, she got a lot of stuff. She's naive as heck, but that's okay, because she's getting into good ways. They're down there. I have 4 daughters, actually, and they're all out in the world doing their thing. My sons are doing all right, but I just want to thank everybody for coming out and being witnesses to this, because Jana is the first of my immediate family, right here, my wife and I. We've been together since a long time. Like 40 years, 76, yeah. And we raised them right down here in public housing, Spear Village. They said we couldn't do that. He's telling her she couldn't go to no major university. She went to a major university. She's still there, and her grade point average is 3.3 right now. And she's a freshman. She wants to be a veterinarian, and I told her, well, get set. It's a lot of studying, but she's dedicated to doing it. And when I told her when she left, and I was told by a close friend of mine, the biggest thing is to get through that freshman season as a freshman, and if you can maintain your grade average during that time, with all the distraction and everything that goes on in the world today, she's going to be all right, and she's going to be all right. That's all I have.
How about a special hand to TJ Betts, Freeholder TJ Betts and the staff put this together. Nice job. Nice job.
Thank you. All right. We're going to do it right after. Okay. We're not finished yet. We're not finished yet. We still got one more. We gotta take care of my hometown next. So, thanks Passaic for coming out. We appreciate you guys. You know, we are in Patterson right now. So I'm going to call my colleague, Freeholder Bruce James, to make our final presentation. And after he's done with that presentation to my hometown, we're going to hear again from Rosa Parks, who's going to close us out, and as soon as they're done, we're going to go downstairs and enjoy some refreshments. Is that all right with everybody? Okay.
I'd like my friend Ada Pugh to come on up here for now. Read that in a minute.
You know, everybody who's up here, who came up here tonight, been around for a while. You know, it's good to be older. You got one advantage to being older. First of all, waking up every morning is a blessing. The advantage of being older is you see a history unfold before you. And there's one hell of a history in Patterson and in Passaic County of people who are activists who made a change, made a difference. And we all go back, at least some of us go back, to a time when it was very difficult to get anything done. So the people that are getting awards tonight, you're all my heroes. Because some of you were in the trenches when you had to dig the trenches to start with. And look at what the result of that is. I mean, you look at these young people that are here tonight. Everybody in this room never gave up on the kids in these communities. Not one of them gave up on these kids. These are some talented kids. Where's Mark Peters? He's still here? If it wasn't for her, I probably would have killed somebody during the campaign, because that giggle of hers is you want to laugh a little bit? Yeah, you, Mark Peters. You want to just giggle just a little? See? You know, we have so many heroes who do things day to day that's very quiet and nobody knows. But this community understands its kids and is reaching out. And I have always been a proponent, you know, what white folks call black churches, African American churches, AME, Baptist. It's been the stalwart of the community because it always starts with God, always. And the organizations that came up tonight, everybody gave honor to God. The honorees tonight all gave honor to God, and that is where it starts. Now, I'm doing the African Heritage Parade Committee, and everybody on that committee has been an activist for years. There's one name who's no longer on the committee. It's Elise Evans, who you know, I goof around and say that's my wife. We don't tell Billy, but you know, there was a group of people who got together who realized that that parade, that pride, needed to happen, right? Wahida? Needed to happen. And got together and they pulled it off, and it was amazing. You know, they started out with a ceremony for the Underground Railroad, which continues to today, and then they marched all the way up Martin Luther King Boulevard, all the way up to Eastside Park, and then they had a whole event that went on to showcase talent. Talent from the city of Patterson, for the most part, but talent with kids. So that instills who you are, a pride, a deserved pride of who you are. You know, whoever said, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. I lived through that when black is beautiful. There was a number of phrases that taught kids that it was okay, because there were no black folks on TV until, you know, well, you know you're getting old. Well, Soul Train was famous stuff. And white folks couldn't dance on that, and they couldn't dance on American Bandstand. It started to change. You could see, you couldn't buy a black doll if you had a black child. Right? So everybody in this room that's older lived through all that. Look what you've accomplished. And the only caveat I'll say is right now, if you watched the Academy Awards last night, I agreed with some of the things that were said. Right now we're incarcerating more black men than at any time in history. And the Voting Rights Act, which was so fought for in such a hard way, is being challenged now that it's sunsetted. It's being challenged throughout the country. So the activists in this room, you're teaching children what's important, and they're the ones who are going to carry the burden of making sure that the dream is met, because it has not been met. And you know, I used to work there, right? I keep that. I remember when you were Ernestine Pugh. I mean, now it all clicks. I used to be afraid of her because she could take me. I am still. A little bit, tiny bit. But I'll read this. You know, it just is a great event. and it provides a unifying day for everybody. So I'm not going to read all the whereases, but I'll just say this. Whereas the African Heritage Parade Committee is a nonprofit organization whose purpose is to provide an opportunity for African Americans to join together on a special day to highlight their history and salute African American descendants throughout the community for their outstanding achievements. And whereas the members of the African Heritage Parade Committee, Inc., celebrate Juneteenth, which is the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the ending of slavery in the nation, and it was started in Galveston, Texas, in 1865, and it embodies the heritage, culture, and spiritual principles of the African people. It is also a day of prayer, and it's a day of peace and liberty for all. The other stuff I already talked about, you know, the parade ending up in the park, and the Underground Railroad celebration, basically said everything that I said before. We're recognizing you as a Freeholder Board. I lived through this with a lot of you, and it has been my privilege to know the people in the community who fight to this day to make sure that somebody gets an opportunity. You're one of them, and your whole organization is one of them. Would you all who are part of that committee come on up so that everybody can see you? And to everybody here who is not being honored tonight, I just want to say we owe these folks such a debt of gratitude that I don't think we can adequately ever express how much we want to thank you for what you've done for all the citizens of this county, for all the citizens of this county, and what you continue to do. Because the work is never done, but boy, you have made such a difference to a lot of lives in this county, and that's what it's all about. So thank you all, and thank you all.
God is good all the time. Amen. My church people. I got up here and I told TJ, I would say, I don't know what I'm going to say. Too many people looking at me. But getting the parade together and putting the parade together is hard. It's a struggle. It's just like sometimes being in the slavery time, because it's a struggle. But all these people that you see standing here have my back. And I just want to commend Benji. He had my back. PJ had my back. And I have to give it to my sheriff department. I just want to say thank you, freeholders, for this opportunity of honoring us. We don't get this all the time. Because, you know what, even though we don't get it, we still love it, because it's for my community. Because it's not all about a plaque, it's not all about me, it's all about my community. It is one day that we come to love each other, and as you said, no fighting. Just a lot of love, and that's what I like to see. And we need more of that. And not just once a year, we need it all the time. Because I think that's what we're lacking. We're lacking a lot of love sometimes. Sometimes when somebody not getting no love somewhere, a lot of times need to just go up and hug somebody and just say, I love you. That's all we need to do. But it's just an honor. And I just want to say thank you to the parade committee. Thank you. You work hard. TJ, I know you have your check for me. Benji, you have your check for me. No. And we're not having no parade. Due to DCA, it's not the mayor, it's DCA, because they're not paying for parades anymore. So we are going to be having fundraisers. We need a lot of people's support, but we are going to have one big day with a lot of love, peace, and unity at Eastside Park, June 20th. Thank you. God bless.
Hug you because you're going to shake my hand. Don't talk long
Well, this will not be long because I'm kind of hungry too. This parade in Patterson has been struggling for many years, just like the programs in Passaic and other urban cities around this country. As black folks, we have an obligation to start supporting those activities that help grow our communities. We no longer can sit back and ask other people to do the job that we need to do as a people. This is Black History Month. Let's make some history. Black History Month to me is not the month of February, because my struggle starts the day after and the month after. You know, I see my friends from Passaic, and the Rucker family used to live in Passaic, and I've watched Passaic go from one place to another. And as your sister city, as black folks, we say to you, we're there for you as well. Let's make this rest of this month a success, and let's start the new month of March celebrating Black history. Thank you.
Just going to remind everybody to just hold on so that we could make sure that we get some pictures after we have our song done. I want to also recognize our councilwoman from the 4th Ward in the city of Patterson, Ruby Cotton. Thank you for coming, councilwoman. We also have with us the principal of Rosa Parks High School, actually a former Rosa Parks graduate, Ms. Jalen Lyde. Thank you for providing the students. Since I have your attention now, and I'm probably not going to after they sing, I want to just thank you all for coming out tonight. I want to thank all of the people who helped make tonight possible. I want to thank our administrative staff, Lou Imhoff, our clerk to the board, all our administrative assistants, Lisa, Lily, Josie, our interns, Matt, Emron. I want to thank you guys so much. I want to thank the people who prepared the food. My Aunt Della, who's downstairs right now getting it together. And I did say that we were only going to have one song from Rosa Parks, and I was telling the truth. But we do have a very special guest with us here today, Mr. Vernon Allen, who has an outstanding voice. He's been blessed, and he's going to actually close us out. So we're going to have one song from Rosa Parks, and then we're going to have Mr. Allen sing a song, My God is Real, to close us out. Is that all right, everybody? Okay, so we're going to hear now from Rosa Parks.
Thank you. Just want to say thank you to the freeholders, thank you, Mr. Best, thank you to the Sheriff's Department, and thank you all for inviting us to celebrate with you. We've changed it up a little bit to send out a little bit of love.
Think he's lighting the loafers? Think he's lighting the
We
loafers?
all will be given one life. Now it's time for us to look to the future and change it with our music.
not leave. We have one more song.
Could not go, but I am sure of it one day. My God is real, for I can feel Him in my soul. Yeah, my God is real, Him in my soul. My God is real, for He has won and made me whole. His love for me is like no ball. My God is real, for I can feel Him in my soul. Some folks lay down. Sound is born of desires and leave me alone. But as for me, I'll be God has been real, for I can feel His own power. Just how I felt when Jesus took my sins away. But since that day, yes, since that hour, God has been real, for I can feel Him deep within. Yeah.
At this point, I would like to ask, ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention, before we go into our recess, I want to ask all of those who are recognized today to please come up for one picture. And again, if I can just have a round of applause. I heard him mention that this is one of the best programs, and I think it's no coincidence it's one of the best. And I want to thank our freeholder, TJ Theodore Best. So if all of those who receive awards, please come up front. We're going to take one big group picture with the freeholders. I'll be quick, I promise.
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
hear this story.
have the freeloaders back on the dais.
Testing. What is the freeloader on the dais? Okay. I heard on the dais.
I have the freeloaders back on the dais.
Mine's up. He's on the dais.
That I can't take him in?
Nothing. We don't have anything to Ladies and gentlemen, if you can please continue the pictures outside, we have to finish our agenda. Will you please continue the pictures?
I actually looked at him actually the other day.
Did you?
I did. I went through the whole thing.
Let's see. I'll finish on.
It's all on the list?
Come on, move it along, Hector. Wow.
Hector, you're way too close to your phone. That's Try sitting next one, see.
We're live. Good job. All right, we're live. Watch your mouth.
All right. That was obviously an excellent program. I believe it, please hand it back to you.
That's the only item we have on my portion of the agenda, Director, so we can move right into the review of the...
Okay, there's nothing else with the administrator's report?
That's it.
At this point, we're going to have a review of the agenda, N1 through N3, as well as O1 through O43. So I'm going to ask our county council if we have any additions or late starters.
Mr. Director, through you, there are two proposed late starters. One is a resolution to determine the form and other details of the $45 million general obligation refunding bond
that was approved at your last meeting on first reading is on tonight as, I believe, H1. That needs to be, I1, I'm sorry. And that needs to be on your, approved by the board after the consideration of the section. And it needs a two-thirds majority. The other proposed resolution, Mr. Director, is a resolution authorizing acceptance of the following LIATP weatherization 2015 grant from the state of New Jersey in the amount of $635,191, and the Heating Improvement Program, HIP, which is also to be awarded to the county in the amount of $342,488. That would be R45, and the one on the general obligation bonds would be O44.
Are there any questions? Any comments? No? About any resolutions? All right. At this time, Rob would like to ask if there's a need for executive session.
Unless there's a question from any freeholders about the litigation recently filed, there is no need for a closed session tonight.
At this point, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn the conference agenda.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Director James, seconded by Freeholder Catronio. Have a roll call.
Freeholders Bartlett. Bass.
Yes.
Petronio.
Yes.
Duffy. Yes. Lepore. Yes. Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Laura.
Yes. This one, we're going to go into our regular agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Passaic County Board of Chosen Freeholders regular meeting held today on Tuesday, February 24th, 2015. At this point, I would like to call upon the clerk to the board, Mr. Emhart, to please read the announcement of the Open Public Meeting Law.
Ladies and gentlemen, the notice requirement of Open Public Meetings Law has been satisfied with respect to this meeting, specifying the time, date, and location, including the annual notice adopted at the reorganization meeting filed with the county clerk, posted in the administration building, and mailed to 2 newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the law.
May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Bass. Petronio. Duffy. Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Here. I ask everyone to stand, please, for the invocation. Blessed are you, O Lord, King of the universe, creator of heaven and earth. We thank you that once again we may come together to do the business of the county. We thank you for this amazingly rich program that we had, where we acknowledge just a remarkable community and their contributions to the history, present, and as well as the future of this great nation. Lord, we ask that you would watch over us always and give us the wisdom, compassion, and insight to do those things which are in the best interests of the residents of this county and would bring you glory. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
At this point, I would call upon Freeholder Duffy to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Beyond my honor, Director.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I can ask everyone to remain standing for a moment of silence to remember all the men and women who have died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. Thank you. You may be seated. So I would ask if we can have a motion to approve the minutes of our February 10th, 2015 meeting. Moved by Freeholder Best, seconded by Deputy Director James. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Bass. Petronio. Duffy.
Abstain.
Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes. This moment I'll ask for a motion to approve all of the proclamations, obviously celebrating all of the individuals for Black History Month, as well as acknowledging individuals who received the Frederick Fred Jordan Memorial Scholarship Educator of the Year Award, and also the recipient of the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award, G1 through 18.
Make a motion.
Second. Motion made by Freeholder Duffy, seconded by Freeholder Lepore. Have a roll call.
Freeholders Bartlett. Yes. Best. Yes. Petronio.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore. Yes. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes. At this moment, I'm going to ask for a motion to suspend the regular order of business. Moved by Deputy Director James.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Catronio. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Best. Yes. Catronio.
Yes.
Duffy. Yes. Lepore. Yes. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes. At this moment, we will listen, or rather discuss the refunding bond ordinance 2015-01, refunding bond ordinance of the County of Passaic, New Jersey, providing for the advance refunding of all or a portion of certain general obligation bonds, consisting of general improvement bonds, county vocational school bonds, and county college bonds, appropriating $45 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of general obligation refunding bonds in one or more series in the aggregate principal amount of or more series in the aggregate principal amount of not exceeding $45 million for financing the cost thereof. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on refunding bond ordinance 2015-01?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Freeholder Best, seconded by Freeholder Bartlett. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Best. Yes. Petronio. Yes. Duffy. Yes. Moore. Yes. Deputy Director James. Director Law.
Yes. At this moment, I would like to invite anyone from the public who would want to present or has a desire to be heard on the refunding bond ordinance 2015-01.
Seeing no one at the podium, I move to close the public portion.
Second.
I'm sorry, may I have a second?
Second.
Okay, it was moved by Freeholder Duffy. We received a second from Deputy Director James. Have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Best. Yes. Petronio. Yes. Duffy. Yes. Lepore. Yes. Deputy Director James. Yes. Director Law.
Yes. Before I ask for a motion to adopt the refunding bond ordinance 2015-01, I want to just have a discussion really quick about the $45 million and what this actually means. It's $45 million refunding. I believe this is direct savings to the residents and taxpayers of the County of Passaic. This is the existing money that we have, and we're going to take advantage of low interest rates due to our high credit rating. We're going to put this back out there, and I believe that we're going to save up to the tune of $1.9 million. And this is just direct savings to the taxpayer. There is no downside to this, and I wanted to clarify that and invite any members of the board if they have any questions or comments regarding this.
Thank you, Director. This is the second refunding bond ordinance of the year in just 3 meetings, and it's exactly as you said. We are not taking on new debt here. We're taking old debt, and much like a homeowner might refinance their house to take advantage of the lower interest rates, we're taking advantage of the increased credit rating that we've enjoyed under the current leadership, and refunding, basically refinancing up to $45 million in debt and saving the taxpayers about $1.9 million by doing that.
Yes, and if I may add, obviously because we have increased our bond rating, I mean, we received 6 increases in the past, I believe 5 years, Administrator, am I correct?
Yes.
Obviously that positions the county very well to receive these savings, and I just want to say kudos to the administration and to the board for all of the hard work that we have done to get our fiscal house in order and continue these efforts any way we can. Thank you. At this point, if there are no other questions, I want to request a motion to adopt the refunding bond ordinance 2015-01.
So moved.
Moved by Freeholder Best.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Petronio. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett.
Yes.
Best. Yes. Petronio.
Yes.
Duffy. Yes. Lepore. Yes. Deputy Director James. Yes. Director Law.
Yes. May I have a motion to resume the regular order of business?
Make that motion.
Moved by Freeholder James, seconded by Freeholder Duffy. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Best.
Yes.
Petronio.
Yes.
Duffy. Yes. Lepore. Yes. Deputy Director James.
Yes.
Director Law.
Yes. Now, may I ask if any of the freeholders have reports? If anyone does? Freeholder Bartlett?
I do, Director. Thank you very much. And thank you again, first of all, Freeholder Best, for really an absolutely exceptional program, musically and in terms of these wonderful honorees. I was proud to be part of it. Thank you. As we just heard, we are going through a process, a multi-year process, an enduring process of trying to improve the fiscal state of Passaic County. And to the credit of, not only this board, but particularly those who have served for several terms, like Freeholder Lepore, Freeholder Duffy, Freeholder James, we have, as you said, Director, put our fiscal house in order. And part of that is the annual challenge of budgeting. I served on the Budget Committee this year, and as everyone up here knows, and I hope everyone in the public knows, we are subject to a 2% cap on the extent to which we can increase expenditures from one year over the next. And that has to encompass everything from salaries to other ordinary operating expenses, as well as healthcare expenses, which is something that we have grappled with bringing under control in our system. We're self-insured, which is less expensive than buying insurance for an employer the size of the county, but also carries with it risk, and we've seen that over the last 2 years. And I know that Administrator DeNova, when he went to our various department heads this year, reminded them and emphasized that 2% cap and the responsibility that we have to stay within that. Regrettably, to their credit, the department heads that report to us did a very exceptional job with that, and I know in the next coming meetings we're going to be taking a look at our 2015 budget and eventually passing it. Unfortunately, our superintendent of elections did not do the same, although she came in with a budget estimate that was within the 2% cap. She then negotiated a collective bargaining agreement with the union that represents her employees that unfortunately is wildly in excess of her own estimate, wildly in excess of what we can prudently spend within our financial limitations. It's a unique legal situation because she is her own appointing authority, while we are the ones who pay the bills, and thus the Passaic County taxpayers are the ones who pay the bills. And I believe, and I've always believed, that public officials have an obligation to manage their offices consistent with the law and the taxpayers' interests. And by negotiating an agreement full of costly raises and giveaways without communicating with those responsible for funding the agreement, this board and our administrator, the superintendent of elections, failed Passaic County taxpayers. So regretfully and hesitantly, we did feel the need, in the interest of the taxpayers and protecting the costs that they bear as property taxpayers in Passaic County, to file a lawsuit against the superintendent of elections last Thursday. I will let the administrator talk more about that, or my freeholder colleagues talk more about that if they wish to. But this is a matter of protecting our obligation over the public purse, to protect the taxpayer, and for all of our departments, including those that appoint independently, to operate within their means and within the county's means.
Excellent. Thank you, Freeholder. Anyone else? Any comments? Freeholder report?
I just want to clear with County Council that we can comment, given the fact that we have filed.
No, it's a public, Freeholder, it's a public filing, and I believe that it's not inappropriate to generally comment on the situation. And I would ask, though, that Freeholder not comment on any details of the suit other than what's set forth in it at this point. And everything that Freeholder Bartlett has said so far was in the complaint, signed by the administrator.
Okay, I just want to, and through you, Director, thank you for the opportunity. It was reported in the paper quite accurately about the cost of living increases that the SOE negotiated. A 3-year contract should not have exceeded 6% over the course of the 3 years. I believe this agreement exceeds over 33% just in the COLA increases, and there are other variables in that bargaining agreement that was signed by the SOE. The SOE, in my opinion, has demonstrated a total disregard for the taxpayer, a total disregard for the cap, a total disregard for the ability of us to put forth or hamper our effort to put forth a good budget. We will put forth a good budget despite the actions of the SOE. But this, once again, the taxpayers should know that anything that this board controls, we have controlled, and quite prudently in terms of budget increases. And we have increased our bond rating over the years. Tonight demonstrates we saved over almost $2 million because of that increased bond rating. We talk about it all the time. To many people, it's just words, increased bond rating. What does that mean? Well, tonight it meant $1.9 million in savings for the taxpayers. And to have to deal with someone who either doesn't understand or totally disregards the budget process is quite disheartening, and I'll leave it right there.
Thank you very much, sir. Obviously, again, and it has been highlighted, so I don't have to continue, that the $45 million and the almost $2 million worth of savings is a testimony to the hard work that our administrator puts in this board, with the direction by the freeholders, those who have been here for more than one term, and those of us who have joined, that we have the continued vision and commitment to the taxpayers to be responsible with their money. And I believe that we have a reasonable expectation there be collaboration, partnership with the individual that runs the day-to-day operations and looks at the county as a whole. I believe that it is appropriate to consider that and request it and expect it, not for us, but for the taxpayers. So, thank you. Any other questions? Any comments on the freeholder reports?
I hate to speak twice, but I did want to say what I had to say about our litigation with the superintendent of elections, but I also want to recognize one of the ways in which we as Passaic County freeholders and our partners in the Passaic County Advisory Council on Disability are trying to get useful information to our residents on some challenging issues, and I wanted to let everyone know that hasn't heard about it yet. Tomorrow evening in Wayne at the Wayne Public Library at 7 p.m., the Advisory Council on Disability and this board are hosting a free public forum called Preparing for the Future, talking about guardianship and estate planning for parents with special needs children and adults. Our Passaic County surrogate, Bernice Toledo, who deals with estate matters, who deals with guardianships, adoptions, the whole host of legal issues that comes with that, and a very, very skilled local attorney, Naomi Collier, have been kind enough to contribute their time, and a number of folks, including Jen Corelli's in Wayne, have been kind enough to contribute some sweets for the evening, just to help parents of special needs children and adults, whether that's kids on the autism spectrum, whether that's siblings or loved ones who may be in their 30s, 40s, or 50s with Down syndrome or cerebral palsy and other disorders, to ensure the safety of those people, to ensure their legal issues, and to find ways to structure systems where they can be protected and their financial well-being can be protected, even well into the future when their parents may have passed. We are all aware of the increasing rate of issues like autism, and I'm proud to be working with this board and with the surrogate and Ms. Collier to host this event tomorrow evening and give people the tools to do what they need to do for their families.
Thank you very much. I would also like to share that we are putting together a steering committee, a committee to address the reentry program, or rather for the reentry program that we are putting together here in Passaic County. This is a program that has already begun in Hudson County, and we're looking to mirror what they're already doing. We don't want to reinvent the wheel, obviously, here, but it is important that we address the issue and break the cycle of recidivism with the individuals in our jails. Listen, there are some serious factors that go into place when individuals find themselves in prison or incarcerated. Issues like addiction or mental health, and we have to make sure that we have programs that can address this and prepare individuals while they're incarcerated to integrate into society, into the community. And I have the privilege to work alongside the Deputy Director, Freeholder Bruce James, in putting this program together. We're going to bring all the players to make sure that we can collaborate and have all the resources together so we can better address this issue in Passaic County. And at this point, I would like to invite Freeholder James. I know he didn't want to speak much about it, but I will share that he has a true passion for this. And when we sat and met and continued to keep Starbucks in business and discuss so much of this, I'll let him speak for himself. You'll see his particular heart for this program. Go to James, please.
Thank you, Director. Just briefly, various components of Passaic County have been working on the reentry program for quite a long period of time now, and it's multifaceted. Obviously, the jail is the primary facility that we have where we're targeting, people that are incarcerated, and we want to work with them before they get out. But the program, we don't have to reinvent the wheel, as the Director said. Hudson County has a very successful program. It starts out with targeting those with addictions, So that's what we were going to be mirroring, but Hudson County suggested that we put together a steering committee. The county has vast resources. We have 3 mayors that will be on it from our 3 largest cities. We have our addiction services person, a mental health person. We have the director of the Board of Social Services, the director of the One Stop Career Center. We have Charles Featherson from our housing office, who will be dealing with housing, with our social services office, which will be dealing with housing. We've already been meeting with Mayor Torres on a facility in Patterson, which appears to be going forward. The warden has been working with social services to address medical coverage for inmates who have not been convicted of crimes, which is quite a few of our residents at Passaic County Jail. So it's where we want to go. It's the right thing to do. It has been successful in Hudson County, and for those who are a little jaded when it comes to trying to help people, for everybody we help and we keep out of Passaic County, going back to Passaic County Jail, it's over $100 a day of savings to the residents, to the taxpayers in Passaic County. That's the crassest level. But we're looking at helping somebody get their life back and become a productive member of society. And nothing is better that we do than things like that. So we're going to follow a model that's been wildly successful in Hudson. We already have quite a bit in place in Passaic County. We will very aggressively be applying for the grants to facilitate these programs, and we expect to be successful in doing it. But everybody who's now involved in this has a real stake in making sure this program works. So we're very happy. I'm very happy the field director is creating this ad hoc committee, which he has the authority to do under our bylaws, and we will report progress as the committee and the program starts up and runs on. So thank you for listening to that. We expect it to be a successful program.
Thank you very much, Deputy Director. You know, when we discuss about savings, especially to the tune of $2 million, close to $2 million, and we look to how that will impact the residents of Passaic County, we understand that there must be a holistic approach to the improving the quality of life in Passaic County and making sure that individuals who are coming out of incarceration are reintegrated into society in the most positive and beneficial way possible will obviously pay many dividends to the community, because these are individuals that will not go back into the cycle of crime, will not end up back in the streets, will not end up in jail. They end up contributing, and oftentimes they become the people that are most impactful to steer other individuals from going that same route. If I can just be very direct, that's what we're looking for. We're looking to give people not a second chance at life, but a real opportunity to turn their lives around and contribute and influence other individuals by telling their story and showing a living example that it's possible to come out and be productive. So thank you very much, sir. Before I continue, Mr. Administrator, is there anything that you would like to share?
I did want to just share one thing going back to the Superintendent of Elections, and I know we'll have our day in court, but since we're lucky enough to have the reporter here, Mr. Cowan, though some may not recognize him because I think he's been working undercover with the new beard, but I recognize him. He couldn't fool me. But one of the things I think it's important for the public to understand in reading the article, when the superintendent had said that, had the freeholders said that they weren't happy, or, I didn't know about it, they never told me I was happy. No, people don't get to create their own facts. And December 22nd, she received a letter stating that the county had heard she negotiated a contract and that the union was going to ratify it the following Monday. So for her to say in the newspaper, and I assume the quote is correct, Rich, because you wouldn't have printed it if it wasn't, for her to say that had the freeholders only said to me, they weren't happy, maybe something would have been different, is what I could assume she meant by that, is just, to me, wrong. She knew it, spoke to her in August, asked her, we sat down in a budget meeting, she never discussed it, and when we found out it was all said and done, and we got the contract, and it was a signed contract. So, yeah, did we tell her we were unhappy? Yeah, after she signed the contract and negotiated it, and it became a legal document. So she really left no other choice for us, for this board, but to take action in the court. So I'd just like to be clear, Rich, if there's ever a follow-up article to get a clarification as to exactly what did she mean had she known we weren't happy. I don't know what more we could have done to let her know she was going down the wrong path. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator. There are no more reports? Okay. No communications at this point. I would like to invite members of the public if they want to speak. So may I have a motion to open the public portion of this meeting? Moved by Deputy Director James.
Second.
Seconded by Freeholder Best. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Best. Petronio. Duffy. Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes. Again, as I was saying, I would like to invite any members of the public if they would like to address the Freeholder Board, questions, comments, and need a further clarification, please come up to the dais. You have 3 minutes to speak. Everything that you say will be a matter of public record.
Seeing no one at the podium, I move to close the public portion.
We have a motion by Freeholder Duffy to close the public portion, seconded by Freeholder Lepore. We have a roll call.
Freeholders Bartlett. Best. Petronio. Duffy. Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes. Now I ask if we can have a motion to accept resolutions N1 through 3, which require a 2/3 vote.
I'll move it.
Make that second.
Moved by Deputy Director James, seconded by Freeholder Duffy. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Best. Petronio. Duffy. Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes. At this moment, I'm going to ask for us to consider resolutions 01 through 043 and 045. And I ask that we have a separate vote for 044, as that also requires a 2/3 vote. So right now, I need a motion to accept resolutions 01 to 043 and 045.
So be it.
Second.
I have a motion from Freeholder Duffy, seconded by Freeholder Lepore. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Best. Petronio. Duffy. Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes. Actually, I'm going to need a motion to add on 044. I believe I needed to add 045.
Yes.
All right.
Actually, just a point of order, he stated that it was added, right? So.
No, you need to make, you're a democratic body here, so don't you, you're going to have a motion to amend your agenda for the regular meeting. So that's.
All right, I make a motion to amend the agenda both in R and O. Wait, I'm sorry.
Both those. 044 and 45.
044 and 45.
You could just vote over again.
Okay. So I have a motion made by Deputy Director James, second by Freeholder Rhonda Petronio. May I have a roll call to add?
Freeholders Bartlett. Best. Petronio. Duffy. Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes. Forgive obviously the confusion, as one of them needed to be accepted with a 2/3 vote. Do we need to accept again 01 through 043 and 45?
I would.
Okay, then
44 and 45.
All right, well, let me have, if I may, a motion to accept 044.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Director James.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Bartlett. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Best. Petronio. Duffy. Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes.
Mike, do we have to move 45 again or not?
Yeah, we'll move 45 again, just to do this.
I move the adoption of 045.
All right, for the sake of being on the safe side, we have a motion made by Freeholder Bartlett to accept.
Laura have an expression, belts and suspenders.
All right, we have a motion seconded by Deputy Director James. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Best. Petronio. Duffy. Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes. Thank you. Well, you see why I'm such a fan of late starters. Now, if we can continue, is there any new business? No? All right, may I have a motion to accept the personnel?
Move personnel committee.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Director James, seconded by Freeholder Bartlett. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Best. Petronio. Duffy. Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes. May I have a bills?
Second.
Deputy Director James first and seconded by Freeholder Bartlett to move the bills list. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Best. Petronio. Duffy. Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes. Certification of payroll.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Director James, seconded by Freeholder Bartlett. May I have a roll call?
Freeholders Bartlett. Yes. Best.
Yes.
Petronio.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Lepore. Deputy Director James. Director Laura.
Yes, receipt of departmental reports.
Received and filed.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us this evening, and we have come to that time. Motion to close? Motion to close by Freeholder Duffy. Second by Freeholder Petronio. Roll call.
Freeholders Bartlett.